Welcome back, folks. I'm Frizz, and today I'd like to take some time to talk about frontline characters. To be exact, playing a frontline character can feel pretty rough at times, since standing next to a dragon that thinks that you're food is obviously a poor life decision. And I'd like to go over exactly how being a frontline character is different in 2nd edition when compared to other systems, and any tips that I can think of. To be clear, I do genuinely think that playing a frontline character in 2e is way more fun than ever. I've played like half of the martial classes in the game, and I'm convinced that you can make a good, or at least passable frontline character with every class in the game. Yeah, some classes are gonna have to try harder, like Wizard, but every martial class can find a great way to get up into melee and start smacking skulls around. But anyway, the big difference for frontline characters that I've run into with 2e is that it feels dramatically more dangerous. There isn't a way to get your armor class so high that you can't get hit, and enemies can do crazy amounts of damage with their attacks. Oftentimes, after a remotely difficult encounter, the frontline characters may end up with like less than 20% of their health left, and being that close to starting to bleed out can feel like the game really doesn't want you to be up in melee. That isn't actually true. It might feel a bit more dangerous, but I promise it isn't actually that bad. See, 2e's encounter design is going to use your entire health bar, and that's just expected. Enemies generally do lots of damage, and you're expected to take lots of damage. In 2e, health isn't really a long-term resource like it's been in Pathfinder 1e and D&D 5e. Rather, since out-of-combat healing is so easily available, health is more of a resource for individual encounters. Over the course of an adventuring day, your health isn't exactly going to get gradually whittled down until you need to rest. Instead, your health is supposed to get you through each encounter before getting restored before the next one. With frontline characters, I can't really overstate how important it is to at least have a decent constitution score. At first glance, PCs in 2e have way more health than in previous editions, because you get a set amount of health whenever you level up instead of rolling, and the set amount of health you get is like the maximum amount that you could get in previous editions. But every single drop of HP matters because, again, enemies do huge amounts of damage. So you end up taking a lot of damage, but you have a lot of hit points. There have been a lot of fights where my PC ended up with only having like 10 hit points left at the end of the fight, and the little boosts from, say, upgrading Constitution whenever you get an ability boost or the toughness feat is what makes that difference. You don't have to maximize Constitution or try and get the most amount of HP that you literally can, but any HP that you can get is nice to have. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about armor class. This isn't exclusive to frontline characters, but armor class is the most important for frontline characters because they get hit the most. Effectively, there is an expected AC for any given level, and it's honestly really easy to get, but it took me a little bit to realize exactly that it even exists. Basically, a character should pick their armor so that they meet the maximum dexterity cap for that armor. So if you have a +2 dexterity modifier, wearing hide armor would give you the expected AC for your level, but a chain shirt wouldn't, since a chain shirt has a maximum dexterity bonus of +3, and hide armor has a maximum dex bonus of +2. You effectively just want to get a total of 5 AC from combining your dexterity and armor bonus. Any additional boosts from like using a shield or spells or anything like that is great and can dramatically increase your survivability. But having that baseline AC is insanely important and honestly game-changing. Of course, you can get a total of 5 AC from dex and armor for light and medium and unarmored. However, with heavy armor you can get a total of 6, so your AC is going to be higher with heavy armor, but it isn't going to be like game-breakingly high. Finally, I know that some people are interested in playing tanky characters, and that still absolutely exists if that's what you're after. If you're aiming for it, you can absolutely make characters that are dramatically harder to kill than the other PCs in the party, and that can be, honestly, a super valuable tool to have available for the party. Sometimes being able to just put a brick wall of a PC between a threat and the squishier low health members of the team is, like, amazing. However, it's important to recognize that you actually need to be able to give whatever you're fighting a reason to attack you. All the health and defenses in the world don't really help if you never get targeted. Most intelligent enemies are just gonna walk around you because you're clearly meant to take a beating, and they're just gonna go after the wizard who looks like they can't even handle a stiff breeze. So you can't purely focus on defense, you also have to give them a reason to go after you, like, say, grappling them or debuffing them. All in all, I think that playing a melee character in 2e is better and more dynamic than it's ever been. There are interesting choices to be made every turn and lots of room for tactical thinking, while not expressly requiring it from the players. How much they want to give is entirely up to them. At first, it can feel like Paizo and your GM are personally out to kill your PC, but that's just a difference in how difficulty is expressed between different systems. With just a little bit of adjustment, being a frontline character has never felt better. Thanks for watching. I really do apologize if this video felt a little bit scattered. I am exceptionally tired and sorta threw this video together really quickly. But what do you think? Are there any tips for playing a frontline character that I didn't mention, or do you have any questions about being a meat shield for the squishies of your party? Let me know in a comment down below, and subscribe while you're down there or something. Regardless, until I see you next, live a wonderful life.